Big Smoke.
The story came out last week. The NFL and the National Football League Players Association approving a helmet designed to reduce concussions among the quarterbacks. Tucker Petre, Senior Vice President of Sales, Certor Sports, including Shoot, and also Vicis Helmets joins us on Shut, and Vicis Helmets joins us on 365 Sports. Tucker, thanks for your time. How long was this in the works as far as this specific type quarterback helmet for a quarterback?
Well, number one, guys, thanks for having me on. It's been in the works for about a year. BioCore is the testing arm for the NFL. They do all the helmet testing methodology and all the charts they come out with. They identified some impacts that were specific to the quarterback position and decided to come up with a helmet testing protocol specifically for quarterbacks. And what they wanted to do with that was be able to get that to the manufacturers, right, and identify the best helmet for the quarterback position to help better protect from those specific impacts. And I think you've seen a lot of those impacts on game day, right? It's those helmet-to-ground impacts that are so devastating. So that's what they came out with. That was their goal, and they wanted to get that protocol into our hands. And that was about a year ago. So our team, RDI, based in Seattle, they went to work because we want to create the best helmets that we can. All right, we're a performance brand. We sell performance. So those guys went to work, and the result is the Vicis 02 Matrix ID QB.
You also, and I was going to ask you, you mentioned this was about a year ago. So this was not in reaction, but also may help defer the issue with Tua, right, in Miami?
Well, yeah, we've been talking about position-specific helmets for quite a while. Actually, a year and a half ago, we released an O-line, D-line specific helmet. So the talk of helmet-specific manufacturing has been around for a couple of years, and we've actually already delivered one model. The quarterback model was just another step in that process. And again, what they want to try to identify is positions on the field that take a unique level of impact and see if the everyday helmet performs best for them or a customized helmet is needed. The O-line, D-line, it's an easy position to target for a specific helmet performance because they take a lower velocity impact level across the average of the game, where a quarterback is a little bit different. So, yeah, it was definitely in the works before the issues that the NFL experienced this past year.
Tucker, can you just take us into some of the science behind all this? I mean, it's so broken down and detailed and personalized now by even the positions, but can you just kind of take us to a glimpse in all the magic behind the scenes and how all this is sort of put together and worked on?
Yeah, no, it's really cool, and it's a really exciting time in the helmet industry, especially for us with this technology. The Vicis technology is really undeniable. It's very versatile. We can tune that technology to basically react to any type of helmet metric performance that you throw at it. That's why it's number one in the NFL helmet testing. It's number one in Virginia Tech helmet testing. And even in the youth Virginia Tech, it's also number one there. And these are number one by a wide margin. So the cool thing is that, hey, we come up, we see the NFL identifies some specific impacts that the quarterback position takes. We get those metrics, and then we see how that we can tune the technology on the inside of the helmet to better react to those type of impacts. Now, this helmet, this quarterback helmet, is specifically designed to perform better on helmet-to-ground impacts, and that's hitting a flat surface, right? So all the helmet testing at this point has really been helmet-to-helmet, which is two conical-shaped objects hitting each other. But your helmet technology reacts differently to getting hit by a flat surface. So what our RDI team was able to do was to go in, improve the performance on that flat surface helmet-to-ground impact, and not take away from the helmet-to-helmet impact technology. And that's what's led to the increase in performance for this specific helmet. So it's actually really cool stuff.
I remember we had somebody on, and it was a partner or someone earlier that came on with us about the Vicis helmet when it was first coming out. It has come a long way.
Yeah, Clark Hood. Clark Hood was with Vicis when it first came out, so I believe it was Clark. But yeah, it has come a long way, and now you're getting into really specified performance metrics for each position, right? Because what they've identified, like I said before, different players play a different game within football. Your offensive line, defensive line, and the model we came out with them is the trench, right? And it has a specific added-on piece to the front. And actually, last year, NFL defensive MVP, Nick Bosa wore the trench helmet model. So those guys, if they play 50 snaps, they take 50 impacts, but it's at a much lower average median velocity range. So we needed to create a helmet that performed better across those 50 impacts throughout the game. So that's where that added piece was on the front. Now, if your quarterback took 50 hits a game, or your wide receiver would be a different story. Yeah. They take far fewer, less impacts, but at a much higher impact range. And the challenging thing about football helmets is there's not one technology that does well across the board on every impact, right? So if you do really well at high-end impacts, you're going to probably sacrifice some at low-end impacts. But the Vicis technology has been able to respond to that better than all of the others, and that's why you see it dominating all of the helmet testing metrics that are on the market today.
0-2 Matrix quarterback helmet. You began
Matrix ID QB. Yep.
Matrix. Who comes up with those names?
Well, that's not my department. We try to come up with something cool that makes sense. But one of the cool, unique things about the Matrix ID QB is that it's custom built from the ground up. We start out with a head scan of the player, a 3D head scan, and then we custom print the internal fitting components, and then we build the helmet around that. So each one of these Matrix ID helmets is built specifically for that athlete. Now we're working on some other technology to make it more widely available outside of the NFL. So we're looking to get into that and make it, like I said, make it available to everybody.
So you get approval by the NFL. Obviously, the Players Association has to approve this as well. Was there also approval even before going to them, besides just the fact you wanted to come up and you guys have found this new, what could save concussions or at least alleviate them a little bit? And who knows, down the road, maybe someone's health?
Yeah, so this is all driven by the NFL and the group BioCore, which they contract to do all this stuff. They come up with this helmet testing protocol. It's specific to the NFL. It's not meant to be extrapolated to college or high school or youth football. So it's specific to the NFL. They come up with it. They give us the protocol, and then basically we take that from there and design a helmet to perform best to that protocol. Because like I said, we want to build the best helmets possible. They've identified certain impacts that they want to be able to protect better against the athletes, and we work our butts off to deliver that.
Is there a known, at least of 32 NFL teams, and let's say each team has on average 3 quarterbacks, is it up to the player to wear specific helmets, or is that something the NFL and NFLPA will make sure they do?
It is up to the player. They don't mandate a player wear a specific helmet. They do the best they can, right, to educate the players. And that's one of our biggest challenges is getting out and educating the players on the benefits of these helmets. The trench, for instance, this year, the trench model was the only model to be recommended by the NFL for O-line, D-line. None of the other models are recommended, so we're really excited about that. So they do what they can to influence their decision. But at the end of the day, it is up to the individual athlete to make the decision. But like I said, we're getting out there trying to educate them on the benefits, and we're starting to see a lot of players making more educated choices on helmets. Back in the past, they wouldn't know the name of it. They'd just show you a picture, and this is what I want. But now they're doing some deeper dive study into the benefits for them, and we're seeing results on the field.
Tucker Petre with us, Vice President of Sales for Certor Sports. Is Certor Sports the umbrella for Schutt and Vicis and others?
Yep, it is. It is. We have 3 brands right now. We have Schutt, Vicis, and Tucci as our baseball brand. But what that allows us to do is right now you're seeing some influence from the Vicis technology into our Schutt football helmets. We have a new F7 2.0 that has some Vicis-style technology in it, and it instantly saw an increase in the performance metrics in the protocol. So that cross-pollination of technology is really exciting for us because it's elevating all of our helmet brands performance-wise.
You can't get a percentage yet until after this season, right? Like if, for example, it's a 8% better or 12% better, maybe 40% better. Is that something you have to wait to see what the results are after this upcoming season?
Yeah, we really don't track anything against injuries itself, but the NFL has done their testing on this helmet and found that it has performed 7% better than all other helmets in the quarterback testing protocol. So we look at that 2 ways. One, that's a 7% better on that specific impact the quarterback takes, but then you have to multiply that over the number of impacts they may take over the game, the season, and their career. Well, 7% is a pretty good number. When you get into our trench helmet for O-line, D-line, that's a 35% reduction in impact, the low velocity impact. So imagine over the course of a game or a season or career, if I could say I could reduce that impact severity by 35%, well, that's a really big number at the end of the day once that all adds up. So getting the players to buy into that, to understand the long-term health benefits of some of these items is really our main goal.
So with that being said, are you guys it's like a car dealership or car, they're making the next, let's say, Dodge or Ford or whatever it is, or Ram truck. They're already working on like a model from 3 or 4 years ago. Do you always have something that's being worked on that's the next helmet even after this one?
We always have something, and you're correct. We've got stuff in the works right now. We try to stay ahead of it as much as you can. We keep up with the science as much as we can, and as these helmet testing protocols are developed and and put in front of us, we do our best to respond to those. And like I said, we make the best helmets out there, and this Vicis technology, it's undeniable. It's really second to none.
Tucker, how old are you, if you don't mind? I'm 63 years old. I'm asking this as kind of just to have a little fun with the question. How old are you?
I'm 48. Actually,
Okay.
I just turned 49. I turned 49 Saturday.
Well, congratulations on that. Can you imagine just walking into a meeting with the NFL and their people and the Players Association and bringing back what helmets used to be used back in the 60s and 70s that I wore and just see their face when they had the little clip-on padding right on the ear, very little in the shell, and then those helmets that were like, it seemed like maybe an eighth of an inch thick, and it would probably just, with players today and athletes today, just crack in half.
Yeah, it's like, you know, your flip phone versus your iPhone 15 that's out there right now. So
that's a great point.
It's like me walking in when you're walking out in a Nokia flip phone and you pulling out your iPhone 24 or whatever.
Yep.
But yeah, it's a drastic change and improvement. And like I said, we're doing everything we can to help make the game better, to protect the athletes, and to make products that give moms and dads, you know, peace of mind of letting their kids play this sport, right? Because it does take a beating in the press sometimes. I mean, it is a violent sport. We weren't meant to bang our heads into anything. So what we want to do is create the best products possible to protect the athletes as much as we can. And like I said, make everybody feel better about getting out there and playing this wonderful sport.
You're doing a great job. The company's doing a great job. Obviously, the new quarterback helmet. Tucker, Petre, thanks for your time. We appreciate the knowledge.
Smoke, take care. Good luck,
You
guys.
too. Tucker Petre, Senior Vice President of Sales, Certor Sports. And again, those three names of the helmet.